Hello and welcome to the Strong, Healthy, Happy podcast. I am your host, Debra. As always, I'm really pleased to be here today. Today is my group coaching check-in. It is the end of week 3, and typically in all forms of coaching, sometimes there is a week where you get a bit of a dip. And this week is the dip for my group coaching clients. And the dip in motivation can happen when the realization that what started as being new and exciting is now not so new and not so exciting. And the realization hits that actually you have to repeat the same things every day to be able to lose weight, feel better, improve your health. And it all gets a little bit boring. And unfortunately, the bare knuckles of improving your health takes repetitive, consistent actions. And it's not so exciting. We can make it exciting, and it's possible, and that's what keeps people in the long term. If I look at myself, I've been training for years. I've been focused on my health and fitness for as long as I can remember. I've been in the health and fitness industry since I was 18 years old. And people say to me, how do you feel motivated? How do you continue? And it's because what makes you continue is feeling good. And also, you're working hard to achieve something, to improve your health, to get stronger. You want to look better. You want to feel better. When you achieve these things, you have to do the very things that helped you achieve them to maintain them. And as I'm getting older, I want to keep feeling my strongest, healthiest, and happiest self. And it does get boring and it is repetitive. And this is the honesty behind coaching. And it is the reality of what losing weight and improving your health and how you feel. This is what it's about. And it is a lifestyle. You working on your health isn't something you're going to do just for a holiday, or losing weight just for a holiday, just for Christmas, just for a wedding, just for a party. If you want to live in a body that you feel happy in all year round, it may fluctuate, but you generally feel happy in the body that you're in and you like to feel and look good. You have to realize that it is a lifestyle and it's not a short-term fix. And it is about repeating the boring, basic fundamentals that you need to do. And it could be a reason why many of you, whoever's listening, clients, everybody, why in the past you may have been drawn to looking for more excitement and thinking that what you're doing, just is it really going to be this boring? There has to be something more thrilling, more exciting. And actually, this is when you get drawn to trying new diets, new methods, quick fixes, transformations, pills, potions, special teas to get you the results that you want. And short term, you will likely get results, but they don't last. And you find yourself doing full circle and coming back to the beginning where you were, or sometimes even further back because you've regained more weight than when you were when you started the latest quick fix fad diet. And you will keep repeating this cycle until you face the reality that there isn't a magic wand and you do actually have to do the work. And the work is the basics. The basics work because they're the basics. They are the fundamental requirements to improving your health, helping you to feel better, and supporting your goal of weight loss. Applying these basics consistently, not perfectly. You don't need to be perfect. And in fact, I actively encourage my clients not to be perfect. It worries me when clients are really perfect, because on the flip side to being perfect is giving up and quitting. And I don't want anyone to give up and quit because that's going to take you further away from your goal compared to if you are doing your best, you're as consistent as you're able to be, depending on your life and your circumstances, and you do your imperfection, but you do it consistently. You will make more progress by doing that, by having that approach. Now, today's podcast is a bit of tough love, and it's come about as a summary of some of the challenges faced from my group coaching clients. And I know that you're going to, any of my listeners who maybe aren't going through coaching, the likelihood is you're going to be able to resonate with many of the challenges that have come up. Now, because of the challenges and this dip in we're end of week 3 of a 6-week coaching program, it's not unusual to experience this dip in motivation, the dip in the reality of this shit has to be repetitive every day, as consistently as possible. And I say that in a good way. I broke protocol of my group coaching, and I actually left my group coaching clients individual feedback via a voice note because I felt they needed more support. And I really care about my clients. And this is something I would usually do as part of my individual coaching. But I always have my clients' best interests at heart. And I do go that extra mile to make sure that I am delivering as high quality coaching that will support my clients in helping them get the results that they want and support them in switching their mindset from any negative self-talk to getting back focused on to doing what they need to do to get the results that they want and the reason why they came to coaching. Being a compassionate coach, which I am, and I'm also a very positive coach, and I always celebrate client wins. I always look for the good in everything my clients have done alongside where they need that additional support. Sometimes part of being a compassionate coach means giving some tough love. And this week has been a week of tough love, pretty much across the board, across all my group coaching clients. And as I've reminded them, and as I want to tell you, the listener, my tough love comes from a really good place. And I always have my clients' best intentions at heart and at the forefront of my mind when I'm delivering their response and the advice that I give them. Now, let's jump straight in. So this is slightly different format to my normal group coaching feedback, where I normally celebrate wins and sort of go on to challenges and questions. This week, I'm diving straight in to some of the things that have been said to me this week that I'm hoping will resonate with you. So the first one, I can't fully commit to coaching, so I can't continue. My response to this is you don't need to fully commit. Whether you're having coaching or not, if you decide that you want to work towards improved health, weight loss, you don't need to fully commit. You need to fully commit in the sense that you commit to wanting to feel better and achieve the things that you want to achieve, the goals that you want to achieve. But I think what this client is looking for is that she can't commit to being perfect. And you don't need to be perfect. Life is never going to be perfect. So if you all of a sudden get really busy at work, or your child's off sick from school and it impacts your ability to get to the gym or do your walk or whatever it was, life is always going to throw you curveballs. There will always be something in life that is going to get in the way of you achieving your goals. That's normal. That's realistic. And this is why having the approach of doing the best you can, considering your circumstances, is always going to be good enough. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect. I'm just repeating that to make sure it goes in. Life isn't perfect. There's always going to be, like I say, the work pressures, the family, child pressures, a party, a celebration, a night out, a girls' weekend. There's always going to be something. And you just need to do the best you can, considering the circumstances you're in. And when you do the best you can, it means you're taking small steps forward in the right direction, as opposed to telling yourself, oh, I can't commit, so I'm just giving up. And when you do that, and when you give up, what do you think happens? I'll tell you what happens. You take steps backwards because you're telling yourself you can't commit. And commit being you wanting to be perfect. Let it go. Let go of being trying to be perfect. It's really not serving you. Learn and accept that doing the best you can and being imperfect but consistent is okay. And you will make more progress having this approach than trying to be perfect. If that's you, take on board my tough love and my feedback. Okay, second point I've had this week. Feelings of, I've just sort of abbreviated it. This client had some allowed herself some chocolate was her wording. Feelings of guilt when eating chocolate. Now, first of all, chocolate is it's just chocolate. It's chocolate. It's just chocolate. It's food. Is it as nutritious as your high protein, high veg meal? No, it's not as nutritious as that. But some food doesn't always have to be nutritious. Some food just makes us feel good. It psychologically makes us feel better. That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. We do want to moderate the amount of those types of foods because they're not going to make us feel great long term. And if we overconsume on them, no one feels great from eating a shit ton of chocolate. Might feel good in the moment, and then all of a sudden it hits. You've got a headache. You've hit a high and you've crashed down in a low. You feel lethargic. No one feels good from that. But can you eat some chocolate? Absolutely. You can have chocolate every day should you want to. And this comes down to moving away from the all or nothing behaviors. And like, I know from myself and my past, and we've kind of all been there, and you might be listening and you might still be there, where you have a certain something. You tell yourself you can't control yourself around it. You tell yourself that you are all or nothing, when actually you are just you. You are not all or nothing. You just might have an all or nothing tendency around certain foods. You are not all or nothing. If you label yourself or tell yourself you are something, then the likelihood you're going to be what it is you tell yourself you're going to be. So we want to break this self-fulfilling prophecy of telling yourself you are something when actually you're not. It's behaviors. And also looking into reasons why you feel guilty eating chocolate. You don't need to feel guilty. It's just chocolate. How you speak to yourself really matters, because if you consume, whether it's the chocolate, the donut, the crisps, whatever it is, that is less nutritious, is calorie dense, i.e. high calorie, doesn't align with your goals. It's a very complex and individual situation with a lot of nuance. So I'm being very generic in my advice here because I'm speaking on a podcast and not to any one person in particular. But if you berate yourself, if you shame yourself, you feel guilty, or you tell yourself you're pissed off at yourself because you ate so much chocolate, how you speak to yourself, that negative self-talk, you might think it's going to stop you doing it again, but actually it's not the right way to deal with yourself. Understanding the circumstances that led to, if you did overconsume on chocolate, or you ate chocolate when you hadn't really planned to or wanted to, is understanding the circumstances that led to it. Maybe you didn't eat all of your meals. Maybe you were hungry because you skipped a meal, or you were busy and you didn't eat, or you skipped a meal intentionally because #weight loss. Understanding your circumstances and understanding your behaviors is going to help you with that. Now, for this particular client, I've said to her, you can have chocolate every day, make it work within your calories. This client is tracking. It's an easy way to manage calories, hit protein target, and include the foods that you want to include, like chocolate. One of the ways in coming away from an all or nothing mentality is to stop telling yourself that you need to eat it all to get out the house. You're never going to buy it again, because it's leading to you over consuming on it, because you're telling yourself, I'm buying it, eat it, and then I'm not buying it. Invariably, you are going to buy it again. You know you do. You go round in that cycle, as did I. So lift off this restriction, reduce that scarcity mindset around this food. Obviously, like I said, this is very individual and very nuanced, but please believe me when I say you can change the narrative of what you're telling yourself you are or you do. You can change it. And if this sort of has struck a chord with you and some of the behaviors that I describe is describing you, please reach out. Please message me, because I can help you. All my contact details are in the show notes, as is an application form to apply for coaching. Okay, next point that came up in feedback this week, or check-ins this week. Okay, doing what you want to do and not what you feel others want you to do, which is also known as people pleasing. How many of us have gone on a night out and we may not want to drink so much, and you find your friends going, oh, what's wrong with you? Why aren't you drinking? Just have one. You're boring, whatever. And so you give up on your intention of stopping at 2 or whatever, or having none, whatever it is that your intention was. And then you have the drink to please everyone else that's been hassling you, go on and drink. And this can also apply to come and have some cake, have a slice. Come on, I made it just for you. You don't want the cake, but you've got this pressure from the person that made it or wants you to go to the cafe. Oh, you just having tea? No, share the cake with me. You're being so good. Why are you being good? And it's the pressure from others that want you to do things that are not what you align with what you want to do, but you give in because you're people pleasing. Sometimes it's also like you just want to stop the nagging, and it's almost like a way just to quiet it all down. But ultimately what happens is you act in a way that doesn't align with what it is that you want to do. If you've got a health and a weight loss goal and drinking large amounts just doesn't align with that goal, and you realize it actually doesn't make you feel good, you have to stick to that. You have to stick to your intention, and you have to be strong, and you have to say no. And I always believe that in situations like this, being open and honest with your friend, look, I'm working on losing weight. I've had a couple and now I'm stopping, usually tends to work and shut people up, or give them that understanding. The friend who wants you to eat cake because it makes her feel better, because she doesn't really want to eat the cake, but is eating the cake, and she'll feel better that you eat it as well. So you really need to express and be honest, and if you don't want to talk about weight loss, I'm really working towards my health. I'm really trying to eat more, healthy, nutritious food. I actually don't want any cake, but you get some if you want it. It's fine. You don't have judgment, as neither do I. Everyone can do what everyone wants. Everyone is an adult, including you. And as an adult, you can make the choices that align with you. Okay, moving on to the next point. This client expressed feeling tired, cold, emotional, overwhelmed, and struggling with low mood. Now, I have done a whole podcast on feeling overwhelmed because it's a thing, and I totally understand it. It is also moving into that time of year in the UK. You wake up in the dark, you come in from work and it's dark. Um, it's colder, it's raining, it's a bit miserable. There's, not much. I mean, yes, there's periods of daylight, but we tend to be busy during those times. And for this client in particular, she worked all day without a break. And this is her wording, by the way. And she's almost recognized what went wrong without saying what went wrong. I worked all day without a break, without fresh air, without steps. My lunch choice was a pot noodle because I just wanted something warm and quick in between meetings. And one thing impacted the other. No, it all impacts and rolls in. Now, as a compassionate coach, and obviously individually, my advice will differ between different clients, right? Depending on them as an individual, their circumstances, their goal, their challenges. To this client in particular, she's been doing really well in group coaching. She's actually on her second round of group coaching because the first, one round is only 6 weeks, and she's gained and made progress and gaining momentum, didn't want a break. Fantastic. Clients can stay on. That's the best thing about group coaching. And what's frustrating reading her comments, because she self-analyzed without realizing what went wrong, because it's the very things that you don't feel like doing that you need to do to help you feel better and improve your mood. So what this client needed to do was to stop work and take a break and get out for a short walk, get some fresh air, get some steps in, because movement makes you feel better. Getting a bit of daylight, getting a bit of fresh air. And when you do one thing, one positive thing, it tends to have a knock-on effect. And it tends to mean that you'll do another positive thing. And for this client, it might have meant, okay, I'm going to make myself a nutritious lunch. Now, like a pot noodle is not the end of the world, but it's not going to keep her full. It's not going to keep her satiated. Probably won't last until dinner time. It's not, like I say, it's not the end of the world, but she usually eats a lot more nutritious food that are also higher in protein and have more bang for your buck and better quality nutrition. And it is sometimes being really firm with yourself and giving yourself the tough love that you need. We cannot rely on motivation. It's not enough. Motivation is not a feeling. Motivation comes about by action. If she'd got herself out for a walk and got the fresh air, she would have felt a better mood. She would have felt more motivated as a result of that to prepare the healthier, more nutritious lunch. Then it may have led to doing something else and something else. So sometimes you have to have a firm word with yourself and do the things you don't want to do because you know they're for your best interests and they're going to make you feel better. And I'm not saying it's easy to do those things, but you do need to be firm and you do need to do them and break that barrier down, lower the barrier. It doesn't need to be an hour walk. It doesn't even need to be 30 minutes. Just get out for 10 minutes. The chances are you'll feel good within the first 2 minutes and extend that walk. But lower the barrier, make it easy for you to go and do what it is that you're trying to get yourself to do. When you're feeling overwhelmed, instead of thinking, oh, I need to do this and I need to do this and I need to do this, oh my God, that's like 6 things I need to do. It's all too much and it leads to you not wanting to do everything. Do one thing, focus on one thing at a time. I just need to go out for a 10-minute walk. Do that and then think, right, okay, I've done that. I feel good. Is there something else that I now can do? And then set another. Make it low barrier of entry so that you can do it. Don't try and do everything. Start with one thing and you'll feel so much better for it. Your mood will improve and you'll just feel better. Okay, another point. I think this is the last one. Telling yourself you need more willpower. One of my clients put in her check-in, I need more willpower. And as I told her, and as I'm going to say to you, you don't need more willpower. you need more organization. It's not willpower. If you're relying on willpower, it's like you don't want to rely on willpower. You want to reduce your reliance on willpower as much as possible. Why are you testing yourself? It's really difficult. I would struggle. Set yourself up. Set yourself up really well so that you don't need to rely on as much willpower. What do I mean by setting yourself up? Getting more organized and nailing the basics. Now, this client particularly was referring to nutrition. She needed more willpower around certain foods. She didn't need more willpower. She needed more organization, and she wasn't nailing the basics in her nutrition. And if you're relying on willpower and your nutrition and you're not nailing the basics in your nutrition, nail the basics, because, and I'm going to go through those basics with you, but what the basics enable you to do is help you manage your hunger by eating nutritious, high protein, high fiber meals, regulating your appetite, because if you eat a poor diet, low in nutrients, low in vegetables and fruit, low in protein, you're going to experience feelings of hunger. And then you're telling yourself, when you feel hungry and you want to reach for something quick, a snack that tends to be those more high calorie, less nutritious snacks, you're telling yourself you've got no willpower. No, it's not willpower. You didn't eat enough. You didn't eat high enough nutritious meals. So nail the basics. Get protein in at every meal. Add a shit ton of veg or salad or fruit to each of your meals. Eat 3 meals a day. Stop skipping meals and telling yourself, oh, I don't eat breakfast, or I'm not hungry, because it bites you in the bum every single time. And if you keep doing the same thing, don't expect a different outcome. Eat 3 meals a day. The timings of those meals is up to you and what fits into your life, but eat at regular meal times. You will help the management of your hunger feelings, your fullness, and your appetite so much better, so that you then don't need to rely on willpower when you're grabbing snacks because you're hungry. Tough love, but it's true. Now, the other thing as well is I'm going through my notes, and I've talked about eating regularly whenever fits into you. And remember, yes, you may have a weight loss goal, but the way to lose weight, if you do it right, is about eating as much as possible, not as little as possible. And this is really key. And if you want to know more about what I mean by that, I've done a 3-part mini series. And if you scroll through my podcast episodes, it's a pink icon, whereas everything else is blue. I think it's episode 21. And it's really, really useful in understanding how you get more bang for your buck. And if you think of bang, your calorie buck, like your financial money, if I gave you a £5 daily budget and you had to, buy 3 meals a day with that £5, you'd have to manage that budget, pick things, how to get as much food for that £5 as possible. Managing your calorie budget is exactly the same. You want to get as much food as possible for the calorie buck that you have. Now, if you're not tracking, it doesn't matter. It's the same principles. You're just not tracking. The same principles of getting as much bang for your buck. With each of those podcast episodes is a worksheet which will help set you up to achieve that getting more food volume and more nutritious food in your diet, so that you can manage hunger, regulate appetite, snack less, and not test your willpower. Now, if you resonated with any of these things, if there's something that you're struggling with and you want a bit of help, please know that you can ask me questions, you can reach out, and you might be interested in the new 6-week group coaching starting in November, which is a special group coaching. I'm changing it into a hybrid format, which will be individual voice note or text, whatever your preference is, check-in responses direct delivered to you, and you will get, the idea is that you're going to feel freaking awesome for Christmas and beyond, because you're going to learn the tools to manage your health and lose weight, and you'll have those tools for life. So if you're interested, in the show notes is an application form. Go fill it out. Places are limited. I like to keep my group small. I like to give as much individual attention and coaching support as possible. Please, if not already, follow the show, leave me a review. I respond to all the reviews, so please do leave me a review and share this podcast with your friends. I want to reach and help as many women as possible, and this podcast shares lots of valuable advice and helpful tips that you can apply to your life. So please do share me with your friends so I can reach and help more women. Have a great rest of your day.